Hey, good evening.
Good evening or good afternoon. Depends where are you. Yeah, people are joining earlier this time.
Hello.
Hello. So we are starting soon. Like in 3 minutes. We'll start in time. Yeah, hello and welcome to Riga Power BI meetup group. So for those who are first time, this group is established 5 years ago. So we are here for a long time, try to be active. So nice to see you all. And as a meetup group, of course, now it's already year. It's actually in March. Approximately these dates, 1 year ago, we moved all our events online in English to be more available, accessible to everyone. So before that, all our meetups were in on premise, on site, in person. So we are on online. And just no specific policies. We are usually showing slides and demos and discussing things. So if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, anything, that just unmute yourself and just speak. Don't wait that we will ask for questions or comments. Just say when you have something to say. Of course, we also will try to encourage you to ask questions because, as you know, mostly in Latvia, people are not on events. You don't have many questions, so it's so it's natural and normal. We don't expect also so much questions, but if any, happy to have them. Okay, let's start. And today, we prepared a couple of sessions for beginners, and we usually do these sessions time to time, like approximately once in 2 months. We have these beginner sessions, and they are with a different focus. Sometimes we show some. Sorry, I muted myself. Yes, sometimes we do usually for beginners, we are preparing some very specific things, like some use cases and some technique, like probably not for very beginners, but also could be very useful as a next week's meetup about aggregations. which on some level is very useful and easy to do for beginners. And also we give it, we are preparing for beginners and overview sessions. And this is today we have this overview session um, um, for those who working with Power BI, maybe 4 to 6, maybe 8 months, and just to giving some bigger picture, because usually when you start work with a Power BI, it's there is a very fast learning curve when you get when you could start work with the data sources and with visualization part and even with sharing. Most of the beginners start with a Power BI desktop as a main tool for months, so it's also the way to go. And yeah, and today we prepared the overview that just to show you what kind of what kind of uh, services and information could be services could be used for Power BI, where we maybe what could be services that you want to explore more. Okay, and yeah, we will start with a story and then we will show the demo. So we're planning to have a 45 minutes, maybe 40. Let's see, not make it too long. Okay, and short introduction. Maybe if you missed it, so we have a Gartner report of BI platforms for 2021 February. There is also available a full report. So if you need this report, you could write me in chat or in the meetup group, so I could share with you this report, or you could also download it on the Microsoft Power BI blog page. But what's important, I'm following this report every year and just seeing who is on a leaders quadrant. And actually, when you are like meeting on your work environment or your study environment, probably for 3 years already, you hear when the enterprise or when the organization is considering which BI tool to use, you hear that they are considering one of these three, and also Microsoft Tableau or Click. Of course, in Latvia, we are mainly, we will see the ClickView and Click and Microsoft as main platforms for BI, for new BI platforms. And then a rest, and we see that the Microsoft is moving to their absolute leaders corner very fast, and it's of course of Power BI. So you could read this like 30-page report about pros and cons of each of the platforms. But there's a very nice extraction done by Microsoft about top 10 reasons why customers love Power BI. And you could just read and maybe think about functions that are you using these capabilities of the Power BI. And of course, it's a integration with Office 365, Microsoft Teams, and Excel, and all this stuff. Some of them we will look today more closely. Power Query as a low-code ETL tool, which is absolutely marvelous. And integrations with a Microsoft Big Data platform and analytics. Super thing. I would put it even as a number one, and its integration with the Microsoft Power Platform. We will talk briefly about it also today, and many other things that helps us to get more insights and be more productive with analytics using Power BI. And for giving the overview, we're actually borrowing very nice chart, easy to remember. yeah, created by Melissa Coates. So we are encouraged to go and look at her page. She also providing some couple of very interesting videos, and she's collecting. She started collect this information about Power BI and related services years ago, and here we see that this nice picture of it. I have it also at home printed out so that I could enjoy a printed version of it. Yeah, and we will basically go through all these services more or less and look what and why it could be interesting for you, and assuming that you are like trying to that you are finding that next what to learn next in your learning path. So our goal for today is to probably show you next thing for you to learn about Power BI. So of course here we don't have all there are not all the related services for Power BI. Like for example, you can see the data sources. We see that barely 15 data sources, but in real life there are more than 100 data sources could be connected with the Power BI. So this is more representation of some most important services, but it gives us very good overview. Okay, so I hope now you are remembered all these building blocks and read it through. I'm joking, of course. So let's go and look more closer in details. So if we combine it and use as a capability structure, and it's I think very nice structure from Melissa Coates' side. So it's thanks to her again. So how to think about capabilities of the Power BI and any BI platform probably. So we think about data sources because it's very important. How to connect which data sources, structured and unstructured data, real-time data, etc. Many data sources, very important to understand it. Then content authoring, and which probably if we could say that we are mainly analysts here who are attending meetups. That's majority of attendance, that we are mostly interested in this authoring, that how we could build better analytics and make data more productive, as it's a modern saying now. And next is a content delivery and collaboration and sharing. Yeah, we are not working alone. Usually we need to somehow share this content and make more collaborative. System administration, very important, maybe when you are not anymore beginner, files Office is a part of Power Platform, is a part or very integrated with Azure services. Understand that actually the huge amount of Microsoft services are available for Power BI. Okay, I see the people are still joining, so I let them in. Okay, and let's start with the data sources. Let's look at the data sources. As you know, there are 100+ different data sources and that we could use. And some of them, if you look at these extractions here, these extractions here, so of course, we know about files, CSV, folder, maybe more rarely used, but a lot of data sources are available um, for for greater integration with other services and with big data services, and just looked at some of them. Like I would say that these are two that you need to discover. Power BI data sets could be used as a data service, and also Power BI data flows. And if we talk about Power Platform, then Dataverse. We will talk a little bit more in details about Dataverse, but it's a new name for common data service. So if you are using Power Platform, if you are using Office 365, that most probably you will have a Dataverse as a business database for many services inside the company. And of course, we have big data services and analytics like Azure Synapse, Azure Data Lake, and much more.
I think Ilona has a question. She raised a hand.
Yeah, we have a question.
Oh yeah, please, Ilona, please unmute yourself and speak.
Or maybe that was just testing.
Okay, no worries. So, and one of the connectors that there are some connectors I want to just discuss more. Of course, it's we need at least a full session to discuss many of them, but just to cover in this overview some of them. So there is a very nice connector to PDF, and these days PDF and information extraction from documents is very common use case, and especially to get tabular information from PDFs, even from some flyers or advertisements. It's possible to get out this information. And what could I say from my personal experience, that it works extremely well. Even if we compare with some open source libraries under Python and like Tesseract and other stuff. So this PDF extraction from PDF connector and PDF data extraction from PDF in Power BI works very, very well. So if you need to extract some data, structured data from PDF, so it's a way to go. So it's very good. Another thing, of course, is this Dataverse. Yeah, and Dataverse is a database for Power Platform. So if you are building a Power Apps or Power Automate or virtual agents, so most probably you will deploy environment when you have a Dataverse. What is Dataverse? It's actually, you could see here on the bottom, when you create a specific environment, it's for automation or for Power Apps. You also could create a business database, business entity database. It means that for your data, like some customer data, some employee data, some tables, business tables that you frequently use in your business processes within Office 365, like for SharePoint, etc. You will use this low-code database, which is Dataverse, which actually is a proper SQL server, Microsoft SQL server, but created for building and keeping these business entities, which are mainly tables and data structures. So it's now possible to connect to this to data service, or here you even see the previous name, because it changed just November last year. So previously it was a common data service, and so it's easy to connect from Power BI to this data server, which makes us capability that imagine that you are building some business application with Powerapps, and you're collecting data using Powerapps in your Dataverse, and at the same time you could use this data in Power BI reports directly from the Dataverse, and maybe even build some triggers with Power Automate that based on analytics, you're probably triggering some business activity in your business environment, Office 365 environment. And another good thing, also as a starting analyst to consider and explore more, is the connection to Power BI service. And it becomes more and more common that all your data models actually created in Power BI desktop and then publish it for common use in the Power BI service, especially now when we have this premium per user, which costs 20 euros, right, Emils?
Absolutely, 20 euros.
Yeah, 20 euros per user. Sorry. With 20 for 20 euros per user, you could get up to 100 gigabytes storage and many other things. So these are connectors to explore. If we talk about content authoring, so I hear echo. I'm sorry, but I need to mute someone. Yeah, sorry for that. Content authoring. So, of course, the main instrument for it is a Power BI desktop, and it's super powerful. I really love it. And most important, with what I repeating again and again, it's free. It's absolutely free. So it's everyone could use it, could take it, download it, and use it, except Mac users. So you can't install it on Mac computer, Apple computer natively. So there are workarounds, of course, as always, but natively not. And in Power BI, we have a Power Query, M language, which you're probably using extensively already, Dax language, and data modeling, reports and visuals. And as we know, there are 200 plus visuals, again, showing probably you need in your library. I have a printed version out here for all the visuals. You could see it here, but Emils, if you could share the link to it in chat.
Okay, I will find it, yeah, and then share it.
Yeah, so if you're not using this, so this is a very, very nice reference created by SQL BI company. You probably seen a lot of custom visuals built by them, and they're classifying all these Power BI visuals, and other many options how to build a custom visual for your own use. And of course, Power BI is growing. And again, we can't write all the functions in one sheet, but everything which is related to security, additional insights, privacy, governance, and so on are coming into Power BI desktop. So one thing from this, if you didn't explore it yet, so as a and probably as a big starting using Power BI, it's not a common thing to learn, but I encourage you to learn everything about row level security. So RLS, this function available in Power BI desktop. So it's provides that you could restrict access to some data in the visual because of user role and some access rules. So it's very, very important and helpful function. And then we have, of course, Excel also as a tool for building things, some external tools like tabular editor, which helps us to to extract data model and work data model gives us also perspective on how we could probably do a versioning of data model. It's yeah, we will discuss it later on. Dax Studio, we will look at it a little bit, and other tools. And on the service, yeah, and Azure Synapse Studio for insights, building insights, and SQL Server data, Visual Studio data tools for building data models, for example. Power BI service with reports, dashboards, data flow, data set, and streaming data. And for developing, if you like coding or if you're coming from the development world first, then probably the REST APIs are most important to learn first. And paginated report, which are pixel perfect reports. We will look at them today. Yeah, and Dax Studio in the demo, Emils will show how to some very simple scenario how to use it. But what's this Dax Studio? Probably you already did some Dax, of course, when you start using Power BI. So to become really expert and on Dax, you need to use a very sophisticated tools. And Dax Studio is a free tool for writing efficient DAX DAX formulas and DAX expressions, and also gives some EDI, some development environment, when we could work with the DAX better. And today we will show just one example how DAX could be used for extracting millions of rows from Power BI or Power Pivot data model. And it's free of charge. It's developed by community member SQL BI, I think, yeah. And yeah, you could download it and have it link it with your Power BI. Paginated reports started and been available much earlier than Power BI in SQL Server reporting services, and now it's part of Power BI reporting server. So, and even in a premium capacity, you could have this paginate or pixel perfect reports in your service environment. And what kind of this report these are? These are pixel perfect reports. It means that they are mainly created for printing out them on the beautiful printouts. Like if you need some multi-page reports, like something like multi-page PDFs, you could easily create a PDF look and feel, or that it could be printed out easily. And for building these reports, we have separate tool. It's Power BI Report Builder. It's free of charge, so you could download it and try it out. So again, it seems from how it's developing from the Microsoft side that the paginate reports will remain as a part of Power BI. So again, if you are learning and looking forward to learn more about Power BI, paginated reports are something to learn, also to learn. So Power BI Report Builder and start learning and using it. If we talk about how to store authoring files, and mainly we understand that in Power BI we have Power BI desktop file, so PBIX file, and very often question is how to store it, how to control versions of it, how to use it, how to store it not on my desktop, yeah, but that is shareable, that is trackable, that is could be used for multi-layer pipelines and deployments. So currently, the limitation of the Power BI is that Power BI desktop file is that it's a binary file, so it's not a usual code that we could do a version control. So it's binary file, and it's important to remember. So we go a little bit back that what we have in Power PBX file. So in this PBX file, we need to remember that it's not just visualizations. So we have a visualizations, but at the same time, there is also inside this file, when you save your my magic report.pbix, in this file, you have also all the M language code. So all the Power Query ETL, which is extract, transform, load, if you didn't know. So that is these three letters stays for that, and it's a part of this file. And at same time, data model is a part of this file, and very often also some data is a part of the file. So all this sits in included in our binary file, and it's very hard currently to extract these parts. So probably in future we will able to separate data model and ETL instructions from the file, but currently it's just one file. So there are a couple of options how to uh, track or save it and store it in a proper way. And we could use OneDrive for business or SharePoint. That's one option. We could use Teams, yeah, which is basically the same SharePoint. So you can see here is an example how to save it and control it, and because having some chat capabilities and some other capabilities, it's easier to work with this storage. And of course, you also could use some source control repository like GitHub or GitLab or Git for storing and checking in, checking out, controlling different versions, adding descriptions for versions, etc. If we talk about content delivery and collaboration and sharing, the greatest change, and here is a very here you could see the very nice structure of this content delivery. So you see that it's actually structure of what we have in the Power BI service. So there are data sets could be refreshed, data flows that could control data load in data sets. Then you have reports, workbooks, Excel, and paginated reports already discussed. And you could create dashboards and applications from the elements of reports, worksheets, and paginated reports. And what else? We have different functions for governance, productivity, and scalability. But what's super important comes into that changes really how we consume reports. It's integration with Microsoft Teams, and it's very easy to do. Probably Emils will show it. Emils, you will show it.
Which demo?
Integration with Teams.
Integration with Teams.
Okay.
I will try it, but
yeah, never mind. But it's easy to do. So you just click this plus sign, select the Power BI application, and just share the Power BI report with your teams. Also, it's possible to link the workspaces on the workspace level. So it's very good integration. So you could have the embedded reports and some chat over it and so on. And what else we have? We have a Powerapps and the integration with the Power Platform. And if you talk about Power Apps, that there are many things that are available already as a visuals in Power BI. So what we could see here in this example, for example, this one is Microsoft Visio visual, which allows you to show Visio schemas and put data on top of Visio, different drawings. So it's very, very powerful. And on the bottom, you could see Power Apps, and you could see that the capability that provides a Power Apps is interactive application capability. Like you could, it's a way how to have a input form in Power BI report. So you could create the form and use this form for write back functionality. So you're creating a form, entering data, and this data are directly entered in Power BI dataset, for example. And to build these Power Apps, so again, if you're not familiar with Power Apps, it's one thing to try out. And in this example, we see the Powerapps Canvas App. And as Microsoft says, it's a combination of Excel and PowerPoint. So it's a way how to build interactive applications with low code or no code. It means that you don't need to know anything about programming. You're building this application from the preset building blocks and adding logic with Excel-like formulas. And create this interaction. And as we showed in the previous screen, so all these applications could be embedded in Power BI reports. So it gives more flexibility to what we have in Power BI. And to move it even further, that absolutely already absolutely necessary tool to know using in many Power BI and a proactive analytics scenario is a Power Automate. And a Power Automate is a low-code workflow automation tool that allows you capabilities like in this picture on right. That imagine that you are built an application with a Power Apps, easy to do, couple of minutes. Then you save data in SharePoint list. So there are low-code connectors for that, easy to do. Then you populate this information using this information in your Power BI reports. And then based on analytics you have in Power BI reports, or maybe DAX written there, you use data flow for adding data, this Power Automate flow to adding data from emails or using some project approvals, approval flows, because based on some data and save information back in SharePoint and also see it on a project request application. So all these things could be built without any coding. So it's you could integrate it easily with Power BI, and you could see this Power BI icon in the different templates. So there are many connectors that allows you insert data in Power BI, select some data in Power BI, trigger alerts, and use in combination with other Office 365 services. Yep, and Excel is still a very important part of Microsoft BI stack. And here we see one of the Power BI service functionalities, which is analyze in Excel. And under the data source in Power BI service, you will see the function analyzed in Excel. It will require you requires to download and install some DBO connector functionality, but then you will get this data source connector for Excel, and then you could build a pivot tables on top of this data set, which will be refreshed if it changes. And a super interesting function that I've discovered just briefly, and it's available in some versions of Excel, but so it's soon. And under the get data, Power Query functionality, you could see that there is also coming the connection to Power BI dataset, which is very important, and we discussed it as a data model, corporate data models for corporate data model storage for Power BI, and now it's coming to Excel. So amazing. If we talk about related services, then probably you need to look at Azure Machine Learning Studio, which is a low-code tool for building machine learning models. And what's interesting, you could use these data mod publish and use these data models in Power BI, but even more interesting that you could easily add them through the machine learning add-in. You could add it in Excel. So in Excel, there's a free add-in how to add any of your built machine learning models and do predictions directly in Excel. What else we have here is the related services, cognitive services for form recognition, automatic translation, image recognition, etc., and many other services like Power BI Embedded. And Power BI Embedded is a way how to embed your Power BI reports or some elements of your Power BI reports into your corporate applications. For if you have a client application and you need to provide interactive analytics for clients in this application based on client specific data, so it can be done with Power BI Embedded. We had previously many sessions about Power BI Embedded with detailed demos, but you could check it out on the Power BI demo playground. This is new, just appeared, like it's for 3 weeks available or 2 weeks. So it's very new. So you could look at how it's done. Power BI Embedded requires technical knowledge to implement. Some coding need to be done, but when it's done once and these reports are implemented, you as an analyst could create reports and deploy them and make available for clients. System administration functions. So I'm looking what we have, how much, oh, not much left. So this is actually last slide from the presentation, from the slides. So Microsoft is investing heavily in compliance and governance, so that and security. So system administration part is developing very rapidly. And 2 meetups ago, we had our colleague from Ireland with a presentation, detailed presentation about administration part of Power BI. So it's really, there is a separate meetup for that. So you could find the previous recording and look in details if you're interested. But probably most important thing is all these to know about all the options that could be switched on and switched off on the system administration level, like publishing power or embedding Power Apps. It could be allowed, or it could be restricted, or publishing reports to web. It also could be regulated. So very extensive functionality here. Okay, and now we are coming to demo part. So any questions, comments so far? Okay, Emil, switching over to you.
All right. So I'm starting sharing my screen. So very good. Over here, through the time we have, we'll go through some basic demos which you can do in Power BI, also in Power BI Desktop. And the first one is really simple. I have built my own report, and in this report we can see I have some kind of basically these elements. Yep, we have the chord which is showing the specific number of values. We have the filter which is working like really well, and it should be working, but yeah, never mind. And then also we have the beautiful this graphic visualization. And usually we build these visualizations. If we click on this, we can see we have a lot of like elements, axis, legend, values, and we can like, yeah, making this in like multiple dimensions. But really not so long time ago, Power BI published a new option how we could show the information in different these dimensions, and it's called small multiples. So you can see only on specific these charts. For example, one of the charts you can use for the small multiples is this specific one, cluster column chart. And you can see you just like put over here, I put the color, and it shows the sales amount by the region on an axis. As we can see on the bottom, we have the countries, and these small texts on the left side of all the quadrants are these like colors that we have. We have like, for example, we can go through it: yellow, silver, red, white. Yeah, we can also like change this dimension. That we go over here, we say small multiples, plot area, no, grid layout, yes, grid layout. And for example, I would like to have 3 rows and 2 columns, because I know I have like 6 colors, yeah. And thinking and showing that should be hoops. See, we can see we have like 3 columns, 3 rows, 2 columns, really simple. You can also like change the background color. If you don't like the white one, you can like put a little bit darker to see the contrast between the graphic and the background. Yeah, you have some kind of like these things. Also, you can change the grid lines, which specific grid lines you want to see or you don't want to see. And these are like the capabilities that you can use and build easily by your own, yes, in the Power BI desktop. Also, a really new thing in Power BI desktop is they have changed the data model view. Yes, as we know, previously it's this relationship view, and we can see it's saying that, oh, we have the new model view. Would you like to try it? Of course, we would like to try it. That's why you're here. We say upgrade now. Wow, you see, you have a new specific view. It's like really simple. Yes, we can see what kind of like relationship we have with the tables. When the data, like what kind of a data is. Yes, you can like hover on it, and you will see the storage modules import. For example, if you get the data from some kind of database, you get like with the blue just line and blue cylinder, and for specific data types, storage modes, yeah, we have these visual information. Also, what you can do with the latest version of these model view, we have, like usually the columns are like ordered in the classical order. That's how it's in the database, yeah, for example. But right now you can like turn on this radio button and see you can on the top of the card these fields which are related. For example, like hover on the date, you can see in a date key, it's like order date key over here. For example, a product table, we have product key on the top. See, it's like super simple. It's like helping you to analyze and show the data more easily. And these are like the capabilities which we have, like basically can we do. Also, what's like really cool in Power BI, as I said, you can change these small multiples for different kind of visuals. For example, for the line chart, and also, which is like really cool thing, is that we have these AI visuals, and one of them is this one, key influencers, and saying we want to like analyze the sales amount, and we want to explain by business type, which is text, by color, which is text, by country region, which is location, and finally about the order quantity, which is numeric value. And so we can like put all these things together in one box, and you will get these beautiful analysis by the AI algorithm, and you show when the sales amount will increase, when the average, when the order quantity is from 3 to 9, and it says, okay, it's really good for me. This means we need to like push customers to buy more like things, yeah. And this like these are the simple examples which we cannot like by the human mind imagine and find out, but using these AI capabilities, we can like build it. What else? We can like see what decreasing the sales amount. It's again running the analysis, running through all the rows, and see when the color is not available. You know, that saying that we don't want to buy anything. So this is about what we can do in Power BI desktop. As Aldous mentioned, we have also this beautiful tool, Dax Studio. And what Dax Studio is great about, it can allows you to test your DAX measures and see how they are performing. For example, in this Dax Studio, I already imported this Power BI desktop file, and we can see all the tables which we have here. Also, if you could have some measures that will show here, yeah. And let's try the most simplest evaluation that everyone could do by themselves. So it's called evaluate and sales. And sales, it's the table. For example, I want to evaluate reseller. Yeah, I just type reseller. Oh, really good. It found me. Just tap. Yep. I press run, and voila! It finally found me. Like how the reseller is looking out. Yeah. See, I can like zoom in like for the like see much better. Also, this like the formula text, you know, and everything is so super simple and really useful. Thanks to guys from the SQL BI for building this tool. And let's do for the sales table. I press OK. Yeah. Run it. It's running query. Oh, it means its query is really big. Okay, let's see how it's like going on. You see, I started the query. I've started the query, you see, in 1848. And then it will be finished to show the end time, duration, and text what will happen.
Yeah, so just to comment this, if you want to try some different DAX experience, so try out this Dax Studio. It's very useful. And one use case that probably will save you a lot of time. So when you need to export data from Power BI, imagine that you have a Power BI data model, you imported some data, you calculated maybe some columns there, and you need to do an export. It's easy to do. So Emils, if you open a Power BI file, and you need to export this data to CSV, for example, and if you go to table view, so if you want to copy this table, so it's easy. Click right click on the table name, and on the table name, and there is a copy table function. So it's easy if you use this function. So don't use it right now, but just so you could copy all the data from this table, for example, in Excel, and then save as a CSV file. But you know that in Excel, there is a limitation of 1,056,000 rows. So you can't really copy large tables like multi-million tables, which are very useful, very usual in these times. So how to export data from Power BI if you have millions of rows? So then in this case, you could use Dax Studio. So you do this evaluate sales and then change the output type to CSV, to file, file, and then click run, and you will save the even 20 or 30 million rows in the CSV file. So it's just super useful and will save you a lot of time.
Yeah, Dax Studio is not only for the exporting the tables. Also, you can like build some measures. I can like show you really simple measure. Yeah, it's over here. I built the measure which called like sum of my sales amount, and when I'm running, and it should press run and see I will get the sales amount for specific date. Yeah, and it's super simple. You can like test all your measures over here. But yeah, for doing it, you need like a little bit practice of it to understand, of course, first of all, the Dax and and the Dax Studio. So I would like right now go to this Power BI in service side. I have this like this report I've published online in Power BI service using the publish button. And or here what you can see, usually we have seen some kind of like this basic look, and usually like I would suggest you to try out the Power BI Premium per user. It's really useful. As Old said, you have like some kind of capabilities, for example, 100 gigabytes of storage. Yeah. And all these things. And what about like what you can do with this Power BI Premium per your user? So first of all, when you have Premium per user, you have specific workspace, and in this workspace you can like work only with the people who have the same license, and it's like the diamond with people person, and that's the like specific of Premium per user on the persons who are in this environment only can use the content in it. So what we can see in Premium per user, you can like build these deployment pipelines, and if I'm pressing create pipeline, you will see, hey, I'm building a pipeline. Okay, let's say it's like pipeline name. Okay, I'll say it's like name this, and you can like assign this for only one for the pipeline. Okay, we press assign, some kind of basic thing that they're already asking me. On over here, what is basically the deployment pipelines? It's like 3 different environments, workspaces, where you could like work out and try different versions of your data and reports, also in dashboards, and doing this iteratively by using like agile and flow principles to build the perfect like reports and dashboards, or maybe apps, yeah, for your clients or for yourselves. And that's how it's like working here. You can like show what kind of data we have, yeah. You can like add new like data, and when we are like finishing the deployment, you can like deploy to the test. It's the next step. Yeah, on the next step, we can like add specific data which could not be like used in here. And this is basically like the new way of how to test, develop, and build your apps in Power BI. And finally, the one thing that I want to show you, it's about how to automate your, like, for example, we have our report, and what we have in report is some kind of like we need notification when the data is, for example, about 8.5 million or some other number, and you need to use your Microsoft Power Automate. And with Power Automate, you can like build a lot of interesting workflows and automation scenarios by yourself, and also you can like use made by Microsoft or like their partners. And I will show you like really simple, like from templates. Over here, in And in this side, we can see some kind of like templates. You can like in different kind of these types. And I'll type over here Power BI.
Or use it maybe. Look at this one with run sentiment analysis.
Run sentiment analysis on teeth and push the data set. Okay, let's try it.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is behind this scenario? Imagine that you have a corporate Twitter account, and the marketing come to you and say, "Oh, we have Twitter account, and can you, as an user analyst, can you detect when we have a negative Twitter? Then you send me some notification, or have it in a report, and analyze the Twitter tweets." And here you have a ready build. Please continue to deploy it. So there's a Twitter connector. So when there is something written in Twitter, there we run the sentiment analysis. It means that the sentiment analysis algorithm will rate that is it tweet positive or negative, and then you will add this sentiment analysis results in your Power BI, and you will actually provide to marketing real-time report for Twitter's analysis.
We could not run because we don't have this like connection name and account key for the cognitive services.
Okay, but I think everyone
Yeah,
gets
but
to get
like
the
I
point.
can show you like what kind of templates we have with the Power BI in this like Power Automate. I type here Power BI, really simple. Oops, it goes, and we can see, we can like trigger some kind of alerts in Microsoft Teams, dataset rows, from the Microsoft Forms, send some kind of data alert triggers, and these are like capabilities which you can use for yourself, which is already like built.
And these are just pre-built templates, so you could build your custom. So it's not necessary that your scenario should be here. So you could build a custom thing too. Okay, we have a question in chat. So question is about if you are sharing a Power BI file with the data loaded from Excel. So if you will share import data from Excel, which located on your computer, and then save this Power BI file as a file and share with someone, all the data that you shared will be available for this user. So it means that you don't need to add or share additionally the Excel file. So if you imported this data, it will be available in this file because it will be a part of the Power BI file. If you need to refresh this data, then there are scenarios to do that. But maybe it's a topic for one of the next meetups. So I would also like to hear from you what else you want to hear, or what maybe some ideas for next meetups for beginners series, or any comments on the content you have. Yep. So any comments, any questions? Big data with Power BI, yeah, it's very interesting. It's not really topic for beginners, but yeah, I agree. There are many services in Azure could be used for that, but yeah, I will look or ask someone maybe to come and tell the story. Anything else? Was it helpful? So for today, we showed a lot of things, but it's more. We intentionally did it because we wanted to show you big picture of the Power BI services, not particularly going in some of them and talk in details, but showing the big pictures that you could navigate it and understand maybe in which direction you need to learn more, and as this event was dedicated for beginners. Okay. Yeah, step-by-step examples. Good idea. We also having, yeah, time to time we have this step-by-step on hands workshops that we are showing something and you're repeating on your computers. Yeah, that's very useful. And so follow meetup group and you will definitely find some of them. Sharing and security issues. Yep. It's more advanced, but yeah, very good idea. Okay, so already 1 hour passed. So thanks to everyone, and have a nice evening, and see you on our next meetups. So yeah, thank you for coming. Bye bye.